over 55 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by the Georgia Farm Bureau in association with Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.
Alrighty then, your one-stop shopping for everything related to Georgia agriculture. However, all sales are final, no returns once you get done watching the show.
Yes, but after 55 years, our customer satisfaction rating is actually pretty good. And we hope to keep it that way with stories like this. Straight ahead, from record tree losses to plummeting prices, Hurricane Helene delivered a devastating blow to Georgia's pecan industry. We'll take you to Fort Valley for a closer look. As cotton harvest season wraps up, farmers in the Southeast are eager to see the results of their hard work. We'll show you how a meticulous classing process plays a vital role in determining both quality and price. And then later, imagine eating that while curling up next to a warm toasty fire or enjoying a slice of this while reading your favorite holiday novel. We've got the recipes for you, and it's all coming your way right now on the Farm Monitor.
It's been more than 2 months since Hurricane Helene devastated the pecan industry in Southeast Georgia. However, producers across the state that are able are hard at work harvesting this season's crop. Our John Holcomb has more from Peach County, an area that was virtually unaffected by the storm.
It's a sight producers are excited to see, harvest season. It's no doubt been a challenging year for producers, especially for those in the path of Hurricane Helene, who, according to area pecan agent Andrew Sawyer, have seen a majority of their crop decimated and many of their orchards completely leveled.
We believe that it's about a 75% crop loss inside the main direct path of the storm. For tree loss, 400,000 trees, over 51 counties and 48,000 acres. The loss, the economic loss, is how much does it cost to replant the tree and how much does it cost to manage that tree for 7 years. So moving to the future income loss, if you didn't lose that tree, how much would that tree give you if you never lost it for 7 years? So the numbers we have are about $1,000 a tree for 7 years comes out to about $417 million loss. The total loss of Hurricane Helene will be around $600 million to the pecan industry in Georgia.
Hurricane Helene, however, was just one difficulty for growers, as they battled volatile weather all season long.
So they went through a lot of heat, and they can take heat, but that heat could be an issue. We'll have to see. Back in June, and we went through really a drought for 5 weeks. But in July, it started raining, and it rained solid again from July through August. And that's a lot of pressure on the fungicide.
Those challenges with the growing season only compounded as their inputs, such as their fungicides, are a huge expense for producers.
We've seen a really strong increase in the inputs, especially since 2021. And for the crop, we depend on fungicide application to hold back pecan scab. We have fungicides that work, and they work very well, but they have to be on a schedule. When it rains, the way it changes is it takes a 14-day schedule down to a 10-day. So it does put pressure on those inputs, great pressure on the inputs.
To add insult to injury, producers have now seen the price for their crop drop twice since Hurricane Helene made landfall, which Sawyer says is in large part to global market competition and is a real concern for many producers who are already struggling to just break even.
We compete now with Mexico, and they have about half the input costs that we have without the regulations. South Africa competes with us. So, your export market is the in-shell market, and we've been changing our varieties over to more of back to a shelled market. But we really depend a lot on the domestic, back to depending on it, and that's where this puts a real pressure on us. Once you get into the price range that we're at right now, especially for desirable, I mentioned that before, it's break-even price, it's not much below $2. And that, of course, is the inputs.
Reporting in Fort Valley for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
And something to keep in mind this holiday season, Georgia's top ag organizations, including Georgia Farm Bureau, have launched a relief fund for farmers impacted by Hurricane Helene. Donations have already exceeded $1 million, but the bar is now set at $1.5 million. To donate, scan the QR code on your screen or visit gfb.org/hurricane relief.
Each year, Georgia produces over 2 million bales of cotton, making it crucial for farmers to evaluate their crop's value and determine the best way to market it. That's where the Cotton Classing Office comes in, analyzing bales from 3 states to assess their quality. Damon Jones takes us inside the process.
With harvest season for cotton winding down here in the state, it's now time to see what months of hard work has produced for the growers. And while quantity is always important, quality is equally as vital. Determining that grade starts as soon as the crop gets out of the field.
At the gin, they separate the seed from the fiber, and the fiber, they develop a 500-pound bale. We get a sample from both sides of that bale. We get a sample, they put a permanent ID tag within that sample, roll it up, put it in a government-issued sack, and then it's transported here to the classing office. Once it's here at the classing office, we unload it, we bring it into our receiving room, and that's where we start processing it.
The higher the grade, the higher the prices. And that is now more important than ever for growers, as the market is less than half of what it was just 2 years ago. However, in order to receive those high marks, it must first go through a rigorous testing process that evaluates 8 different factors.
We're looking at it on the instrument, and it's testing it for the micronair, how fine and mature the fibers are, the strength and length and uniformity, whether or not they have trash, the amount of trash within it, whether or not it's got bark or grass, which we call extremes matter. The better the quality is, the higher money they're going to get for the cotton. It comes off the government loan, which is you get premium and discounts. If there's premium cotton, they're going to get high quality for it. If it's low quality cotton, they're going to get discounted, and it's going to be lower prices for that particular bale of cotton.
Fortunately, that shouldn't be a problem for most of the farmers here in the Southeast, as this year's crop is looking relatively strong despite a number of different challenges.
The crop is looking real good right now. We started off a little bit low in quality, but over the last 3 weeks, the quality has improved. We get some real top quality cotton coming in through the classing office. Even with the hurricane, which happened about a month and a half back, getting some of that cotton in now, because a lot of those gins just started up. But the quality is okay. It's holding up.
Just like any other sector of agriculture, this facility is keeping up with the times, as they recently implemented a new and improved system of grading that requires less handling of the cotton.
We have a automation system that we put in this spring. It's supposed to be more efficient, which it is helping us out. We are having to hire a few employees, and the efficiency part is moving quite well. I think we are able to put out about the same amount of cotton we had with the old system, where it was more labor intense. The new automation system, the operator, only thing they're having to deal with is not just touching the cotton samples.
Reporting from Macon, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
When we come back, apples, gooey cheddar cheese, bacon. Put them all together and you have this beautiful masterpiece. But wait, there's more. Meals from the Field when the Farm Monitor continues.
The spotted lanternfly is an invasive pest found in several counties in the northeast United States and is threatening American agriculture and natural resources.
It damages more than 70 types of plants, including grapevines, fruit trees, and hardwoods.
We need your help to look for and report it. Spotted lanternflies excrete a sticky fluid that promotes mold growth and weakens plants. First seen in Pennsylvania in 2014, this invasive pest has been found in nearby states because people unknowingly moved infested materials or items containing egg masses. Most states are at risk because this pest, in all stages, can easily hitchhike on things we move. So to stop the spread of spotted lanternfly, we're working with state and local partners and you. Look for spotted lanternflies year-round. When they're young, in spring and summer, they are black with white spots and turn red as they mature. Adults with their colorful wings are easy to spot in late summer and fall. Newly laid egg masses look like wet gray putty before turning dull and brown, like cracked mud. Look for egg masses in fall, winter, and spring on all variety of outdoor surfaces like trees, bricks, stones, fences, grills, outdoor equipment, and vehicles. They gather in groups and feed on trees, especially the invasive tree of heaven, or Ailanthus, its preferred host. If you see spotted lanternfly, report it. Contact your State Department of Agriculture or Cooperative Extension Office. Learn more at the Hungry Pests website, aphis.usda.gov/hungrypests/SLF.
Well, if you're like me, you like a good grilled cheese from time to time. If you're also like me, you like a good grilled cheese from time to time with some variations. I always like to experiment with my grilled cheese, and today we're going to be doing just that using apples. Hold on, don't judge. Joining me as always, Dr. Tracy Brigman from UGA here, extraordinaire. Again, I always say it, the lady with so many titles, so just look on the bottom of your screen there, and there, Tracy's name. So good to see you again.
Good to see you.
But yes, grilled cheese infused with apples.
Yes, so we're gonna do bacon apple cheddar grilled cheese. So it's fall is apple season. There's so many different kinds of apples, so why not put some on our sandwich?
Let's go for it.
So it's just like making a regular grilled cheese. I have a thick, hearty white. You can get hearty wheat, but it has to be a good hearty piece of bread because of all the stuff that we're going to put on it. But I buttered it. I'm going to put it on my skillet top. I can do it in a skillet on the stove top if I want. And then I'm going to start building my sandwich. So I'm going to start with, that is a half a cup of sharp cheddar cheese. I only want half of it on, so just eyeball. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I want to spread some shredded sharp cheddar cheese. You can choose a different, I like the sharp with the apples.
All right.
So that's probably about a quarter cup. I want to spread it evenly. Right?
Okay.
And then I'm going to use 2 different apple slices for this. In that bowl, I have them soaking so that they don't turn brown since I cut them already. But I have Granny Smith apples and I have Pink Lady apples. So I'm going to do 2 slices of each.
Okay, 1, 2. 1, 2.
Okay, and then on top of that, I pre-cooked some bacon, and when I cook bacon, I cut it in half because the long pieces crinkle up really easily, and that keeps it flat. So I'm gonna do 3 slices of bacon, which is really 1.5 full slices.
Okay. Got it.
And then I'm gonna finish with the rest of the cheese.
Got it.
And I have built my bacon apple cheddar grilled cheese.
So through the magic of TV, we fast forward, I don't know, a couple minutes while we've been snacking on all kinds of bacon and apples, and you've got the finished product here.
Yep. So once it's browned on both sides, you're just gonna take it off, put it on your plate, serve it with your favorite chip, a pickle, and then you have your bacon apple cheddar grilled cheese. Next recipe, we're still gonna use some Granny Smith apples, and I'm gonna make a Granny Smith apple cake that's lower in fat than your normal cake. So this is really good. I use it at work all the time. My students make it in lab, and it's one of my favorite recipes in that lab. So we're gonna start with, I preheated the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure that that's ready. We don't wanna mix anything until my oven's ready. So I'm gonna start with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and we're gonna put it in this big bowl, so we don't make much of a mess when we stir. And then I have a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, not powder, but baking soda, and then a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of nutmeg. And those are my dry ingredients. So I'm going to whisk those together because I don't want any clumps of seasonings. I don't want any clumps of baking soda. I want to make sure it's well mixed before I add anything else. Okay, that looks pretty good. So to the dry ingredients here, I'm gonna add my apples and my pecans. So I have some apples soaking in water so that they didn't turn brown. So we want to drain them. Drain them, yes.
Drain.
Yes, they have been rinsed and thoroughly washed, but I do want them to be drained so that they don't, I didn't want them to brown. So we're gonna put that in here, and now the flour is gonna coat it so that they won't brown. And then I have a 1/4 cup of chopped pecans. If you wanna add more and make it a little bit more nutty, you can add some more pecans. So I have 2 cups of, two cups of sugar.
Got it.
And then instead of oil, this is what makes it lower in fat. Instead of oil, I'm going to use a cup of sweetened applesauce.
Applesauce.
So it's gonna make it moist like the oil would, but it doesn't have the fat that the oil had.
All right.
So that is my 1 cup of sweetened applesauce. And then that is a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then there are 3 eggs that I whisked together, 3 large eggs.
All right.
So then I simply mix these wet ingredients together till it looks like it's well mixed. So you can see why I need a larger bowl, because if I tried to put that in there, you would have to be very careful with your stirring. So now I'm just gonna mix this until it's just mixed. You know, I don't need a hand mixer, that's why I like this too, less equipment that I have to get out. I'm just gonna mix it till I don't see any pockets of flour, and then it looks like a good, oops, see, I still made a mess with this big bowl. So once this is all mixed together, I have prepared a 9x13 baking dish that I sprayed with some spray fat.
Not applesauce?
Not applesauce, but spray fat. I didn't butter it and I didn't oil it. I did spray fat, which uses less. So here's my prepared pan. And then we're just going to put that in my prepared pan. Make sure it's even. My apples I diced medium. The big thing is that they're all about the same size so that they all cook. I did leave the skin on for the same reason I left it on with the grilled cheese. I like those extra added fiber and vitamins and minerals. But if you want to, you can take the skin off. Okay, so once it's evenly spread out, I'm gonna put it in my preheated 325-degree oven for about 55 minutes. And you know it's done when you do the toothpick test. You put the toothpick in it, and if your toothpick comes out clean, it is finished. And we have our non-alcoholic spiced apple fizz.
Very simple recipes that you too can make at home. It's easy. Just log on to farm-monitor.com, go into our recipe section, download it, print it, do whatever you want, set your computer up, and you can follow along. And it's, again, real simple. If I can do it, then anybody can do it. So,
that's right.
Tracy, as always, thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next month for another edition of Meals from the Field.
When we come back, the remarkable legacy of D.W. Brooks, a visionary who transformed Georgia ag and championed the family farmer. How his innovative spirit and deep commitment to education continue to shape the South's agricultural success. Finally this week, visionary innovator and pioneer D.W. Brooks dedicated his life to transforming agriculture, always honoring the farmers who make it all happen.
From founding Gold Kiss to shaping national policy, his legacy continues to uplift farming. Here's more on his remarkable journey, produced by the University of Georgia.
He would say, never forget who causes things to happen. The workers in the field who harvest the crops, who plant the crops.
I grew up understanding that farmers were the absolute rock bottom supporters of our culture.
One of the stories that really had a great impact on him was what he would tell about his mother back when he was growing up on the farm in Georgia, here, a cotton farm. And his mother would always said, you don't feed people because they're good or feed them because they're bad. You feed people because they're hungry. He saw the great need for something to happen in agriculture. He was a faculty member at the University of Georgia, and admittedly, I think he left that against the better wishes of the Dean of Agriculture at the university and his own father to try to do something to benefit the farmers of Georgia.
The average money that crossed a farmer's hand in a year was $72. He had been to Denmark early in his life and had seen the co-ops there, and he came back and started what was Cotton Producers, which became Gold Kist.
The purpose of Gold Kist, as Mr. Brooks often articulated it, was to improve the economic well-being of family farmers in the areas it served. Gold Kist was one of the first companies that had poultry servicemen whose total function was to go around from farm to farm and help the producers do a better job at what they were doing.
He was absolutely committed to the fact that profits were to be shared, and that's how it happened in a co-op.
Gold Kist's legacy in Georgia is that many farm families achieved a much higher standard of living, and their sons and daughters and grandsons and granddaughters continue to enjoy that benefit today through the poultry business. Mr. Brooks influenced agriculture policy very directly. Because Gold Kist was the largest agribusiness in the Southeast, he knew presidents and secretaries of agriculture, secretaries of commerce, other cabinet members.
And he served on boards for many presidents, for 7 presidents.
One of the most compelling speeches I heard President Carter make was at Mr. Brooks's 85th birthday celebration at Gold Kist. He gave him the credit that he deserved for the leadership that he had provided to Gold Kist, to Emory, to the Methodist Church, and to agribusiness in the Southeast.
He loved the university, and that was the only way it was ever referred to in our house. It was the university. When he was in his 90s, he was invited back to give lectures in the School of Agriculture. He loved being able to brag that he had been the youngest professor and now the oldest. One of the things that is so nice about the D.W. Brooks Lecture is that it is an ongoing educational commitment.
I think the importance of the Brooks Lecture today is that it brings the leading thinkers, the leading speakers, the thought leaders to the campus so that young people can see that there are great opportunities in agriculture, agribusiness, agricultural economics, and the environment associated with agricultural activities.
He would be absolutely thrilled about, and he was thrilled about it during his lifetime when he could go. That was one of the highlights of the year.
Today the South is booming, it's doing well, and it's up to even now, and we're doing quite well. So we have great institutions now in the South, and they're training lots of wonderful people, and they're building the South, and that's the way you do it. And so I think the future of the South looks better to me every day.
Before we send you on your way, a friendly reminder that for all the latest ag news regarding food, recipes, and what's happening on Georgia farms, be sure you check out all of our social media platforms, including farm-monitor.com.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Have a great week.